everyone! Welcome to the first of 14 days we'll be spending focusing on Bluestar and her life. The scene that my sister Rachel's going to be drawing today is of Bluepaw literally running into Crookedpaw, the future leader of River Clan. This speed paint picks up in the timeline directly after the drawing we did of Sunfall and Bluepaw in the snow, with him comforting her and motivating her to put in more time and effort into her training. I wanted Rachel to draw this scene because I thought it was really funny and cute, and I really liked the friendship that formed between these two characters. I'll read to you now the scene where they meet. It's on pages 159 through 169 of Bluestar's Prophecy. Something heavy shoved Bluepaw from behind. Her forward paw slid on the icy ground, and she almost lost her balance. Crossly, she jerked her head around. "Watch out!" A stocky gray tabby sat behind her. "Clumsy mouse brain. You nearly knocked me oh!" She stopped mid-hiss. The tabby's mouth was odd-looking, twisted, as if it was put on upside down. She stared, surprised by how strange it made him look. "Hi," the tabby mewed. "I'm Crookedpaw." Crookedpaw? He looked too big to still have an apprentice name, but it certainly wasn't his paw that was crooked. He shrugged. "I'm guessing my warrior name will be Crookedjaw," he joked. He was an apprentice. Bluepaw tried to think of something to say to him that wouldn't sound rude. "Unless my tail goes the same way, then Hillstar might have to rethink." Bluepaw shifted her paws. Was that supposed to be funny? Her heart sank as Crookedpaw shrugged and looked away, his eyes darkening. "I knew cats would stare at me." Bluepaw felt hot with guilt. "I'm sorry," she apologized. "You surprised me, that's all." "I'd better get used to it, until everyone gets used to me. At least no one ever forgets my name," he mewed breezily. What's yours?" "Bluepaw." Crookedpaw sat back on his haunches and looked her up and down. "You're not very blue," he considered. Bluepaw purred. "I look more blue in daylight." Crookedpaw gazed around the clans. "Is this your first gathering?" Bluepaw shook her head. "Then do you know what's going on?" Crookedpaw mewed. "What do the leaders talk about?" "If you listened, you might find out," a River Clan warrior hissed in Crookedpaw's ear. Crookedpaw ducked to Bluepaw and dropped his mew to a whisper. "Which one's Pine Star?" Bluepaw flicked her tail towards the ThunderClan leader, but she couldn't take her eyes off Crookedpaw. Why hadn't he been to a gathering before? He must have been an apprentice for moons. "Why haven't you come before?" "I was apprenticed late," he whispered. "I was a pretty sickly kit." He puffed out his chest. "But not anymore, though." He glanced back at his clanmates. "I think I surprised the whole clan by growing this big." Bluepaw's whiskers twitched. She liked this cat. "Hush!" This time it was Dappletail who leaned over. "The leaders are speaking." "Sorry." Crookedpaw's eyes sparkled with mischief. He waited a moment for Dappletail to turn her attention back to the great rock. Then he whispered in Bluepaw's ear. "Which one's Heatherstar?" "The small one. Cedarstar's next to her." She flicked her tail from the leaders to the medicine cats gathered in their own small knot at the side of the rock. "That's Goosefeather, our medicine cat, and the white she-cat is Sage Whisker, the Shadow Clan medicine cat." She shuddered. And that's Hawkheart." "Don't you like him?" He killed my mother." Bluepaw felt Crookedpaw's tail touch her cheek lightly and then whisk away. "Where are the deputies?" he asked. Sunfall glanced over his shoulder. "The ThunderClan deputy is right in front of you. And he'll pin your whiskers back if you don't do as you're told and be quiet." Bluepaw flinched, then saw Crookedpaw rolling his eyes. Did nothing faze this cat? Stifling a purr, she turned to watch the leaders. "Great Star Clan, it's cold!" Crookedpaw pressed against her. Bluepaw flinched, looking around to see if any of their clanmates were glaring at them for getting so close. But every cat was focused on the great rock, watching to see what the leaders would do next. Bluepaw relaxed. Hillstar flicked his tail. "And we have one new warrior. Welcome, Oakheart." "That's my brother." Crookedpaw's mew surprised Bluepaw. "Who?" "Oakheart," Crookedpaw explained. "He's my littermate." Bluepaw stretched up to her hind legs to get a better view of the Tom, but she could only see the reddish-brown tips of his ears. "He's great," Crookedpaw purred. "He caught a fish on his first day as an apprentice." "I caught a squirrel." Bluepaw found herself competing. "He says that when he becomes leader, he'll make me his deputy." How modest. "I have a sister," Bluepaw announced. She nodded towards Snowpaw, who was sitting beside Sparrowpelt, a tail length away. "She's a brilliant hunter too." Maybe if they both become leader, we could be deputies together. Crookedpaw mewed. Deputy? What's the point of being deputy? I want to be leader. Crookedpaw looked at her in surprise, and then broke into a purr. Of course. Bluepaw jumped as Dappletail's paw flicked her ear, and then Crookedpaw's. Hush! Dappletail sounded cross. How many times do you have to be told? Sorry. Bluepaw dipped her head, and then raised her gaze obediently to the great rock once more. After the gathering, she turned to say goodbye to Crookedpaw, but he was already trotting after a large mottled warrior. He glanced over his shoulder and blinked at her before disappearing up the shadowy slope. Who was that? Snowpaw's eyes gleamed in the moonlight. Bluepaw blinked. Who? That River Clan Tommy you were talking to. Snowpaw pressed. Oh, Bluepaw understood. That was Crookedpaw. He's an apprentice. He's big enough to be a warrior. He started his training late, Bluepaw explained. Sounds like you were getting to know each other pretty well. Snowpaw's mew tingled with accusation. So? Snowpaw shrugged. You should be careful about getting friendly with cats from other clans. We were only chatting, Bluepaw promised. It's a gathering. There's a truce. We're supposed to be friendly. Not that friendly, Snowpaw snorted. From what I saw, even Sunfall couldn't shut you up. Bluepaw lashed her tail. Just because I talk to another cat doesn't mean I'm mooning over him like you do with Thistlepaw. You're just jealous. Jealous of you and Thistlepaw? No way. But Snowpaw was already away, pelt bristling, trotting after Sparrowpelt. Sunfall beckoned beneath the oak. Are you coming? Bluepaw hurried to his side. Was I being too friendly with that River Clan apprentice? You were being too nosy. Sunfall chided her gently. But is it okay to be friends with cats from other clans? Not friends, but it makes sense to get to know them. There's a lot we can learn from one another, and not just how to fight them in battle. So it was alright to talk to him? Sunfall nodded. But next time, save the talking for afterwards, please. Sorry. He was just chatty. That's all. Sunfall's whiskers twitched. He flicked her flank with his tail, shooing her towards the bottom of the slope. Come on, let's get home before our paws turn to ice. It's too bad that Bluestar fell in love with Oakheart and not Crookedstar. They could have made a really cute couple. Maybe less competitive with each other, and more goofy. This scene is also one of the first times we learn of Bluepaw's interest in becoming the leader of ThunderClan, so that's interesting. I'd love to hear in the comment section down below what you guys think would have been different in the story if Bluestar had fallen in love with Crookedstar instead of Oakheart. Do you think the relationship would have ended more tragically because of Crookedstar's curse? Let me know what you think down below. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to go and check out the video over on the side of my last speed paint. And click that subscribe button so you can always be notified when I make my next video. Alright guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon with the next speed paint. Bye-bye!